there, you wonderful internet sausages, and welcome to a massive legion of Kriegers here, which today are going to be taking on a Million Pox swarm, as both teams vie for control of this rather quaint little village here. Will Imperial Guard bravery and firepower be able to win the day, or will Pox and Pestilence make them rue the day they ever worshipped the Emperor? Very quickly though, before we do get into today's fight, firstly, thank you very much for clicking on the video, and if you do enjoy this content, why not hit that subscribe button? It really helps out the channel. And while you're at it, go ahead, check out the ChaoticPinky store. We got some really cool merch on there, perfect for this Christmas. But with all that being said, I believe we got some carnage to cause here. Alright then, ladies and gents, here we go. The battle of the village here. The Pox versus the Krieg. Who is going to come out on top? Honestly, I'm sort of favouring the Pox a little bit. They've got numbers on the side. They've got plague trolls. They've got the plague ridden here. They've got some extremely powerful demonic units on the field. The Krieg is unfortunately only fielding a little bit of tank fire here, as well as mostly standard infantry, so they're really going to have their work cut out for them as the zombies start to penetrate the outer areas of the village, finding their way through these narrow little alleyways. So you can see we've got a little bit of a village fight starting to form here. Kriegers moving up with their shovels to take in position and hold that front line. And already glory is being achieved on the battlefield, ladies and gents. The Kriegers are forming a solid wall of defense here, trying to stop that Pox Walker swarm from being able to overwhelm the other defenders here. Meanwhile, we've got Last Fire streaking overhead, just annihilating vast swathes of zombies, as well as the tank rounds themselves, also providing really good covering fire here today. But the fight in the village is going to be the crucial one. The Kriegers need to hold these alleyways should they get outflanked and outswarmed. At the moment, though, looks like things are going really, really well for the Kriegers. Able to hold these little bottlenecks, focus down firepower into these alleyways and stop that Pox Walker swarm dead in its tracks. Or should we say undead in its tracks. Meanwhile, at the bottom end of the village, a much larger swarm is able to approach. Not so broken up here by the buildings themselves, but you can see the Kriegers have gone forward with this gigantic spear of troops now, trying to thrust themselves into the center of the enemy. Meanwhile, Last Fire is trying to take out things like the plague trolls. We don't want these guys getting to the front line. They will ruin the day of many a life here of the Kriegers should they get into the melee combat. You can see in certain other areas that the zombies are managing to push through. The Kriegers got to hold them defensive lines here, really use these narrow funnels to focus the enemy down. And that tactic's working for them. You can see that at the moment the plague trolls here getting really focused down as soon as they get to that front line. Last Fire cutting through them really effectively. But again, should one of these guys get to the front line in a single hit, he'll be able to kill hundreds and hundreds like that of the Kriegers. Absolutely imperative that the Kriegers try to take out their bile trolls as soon as possible. Now, the other problem that the Kriegers are going to face is, at the moment, they haven't really gotten to the main bulk of the Plague Army. Of course, it is the Plague-ridden here that are driving this horde forward. We can see a couple of them now are making their way to the front lines, and these are going to be the game changers in this battle here. Absolute tanks of units, able to absorb lots of Last Fire, and not only that, they are really, really adept in melee combat, having an aura of toxic gas around them, able to kill most enemies just by simply being present on the field. It really is that bad, but you can see actually, it looks like the zombie line over here, the Pox Walker swarm, is actually starting to break a little bit of momentum, not able to get the reinforcements it needs into this courtyard area. The Kriegers looking to take advantage of this, pushing forward with shovel units and a little bit of covering fire to try and clear out this courtyard and secure themselves some more ground to move reinforcements in. Looks like we've got a little bit of a flanking maneuver going on over this side. A couple of zombies deciding to come around the back, but they're going to be quickly mopped up. Of course, the other side of the field is all the way over here, somewhere we haven't even looked yet, ladies and gentlemen. There's an entire other battle that is going on. Massed amounts of Kriegers move forward across the open stretch of desert here, trying to protect the flank. As you can see, this road here leads right into the rear of the Imperial Guard army. So the Pox Walker swarm here trying to outmaneuver and outsmart the Imperials. But the Imperials have made this desperate dash across this river in the center to try and get to the other side, take the fight to the enemy. Once again, though, plague trolls are coming down, and here they are in the background, ladies and gents. The plague-ridden waiting their turn, letting all the nommers take a lot of the firepower for them, setting up the enemy so they can come in and mop up the rest of them. But the Kriegers, look at this massive outflanking maneuver that they've got here, really dedicating a lot of units to this, hoping to basically encircle and pincer the enemy as they come across this open plateau here. But we'll have to keep an eye on that battle. We'll come back to that in a second, because the Kriegers are actually starting to run out of reinforcements on this front line down here. Again, the plague-ridden have gotten to that front now, and the battle is starting to turn. The shovel boys are really struggling to hold back the waves of demonic undead at the moment. Can you call plague bearers undead? I mean, I guess technically they're all undead, right? Oh, I guess not. No, because they are living. They've just been corrupted by Nurgle. I guess some of them are still dead and being controlled by a parasite, but you know, God, look at this. We've turned the marketplace into an absolute butcher's yard at the moment. How are we getting on down this side? Okay, so the forward push is going well, but bit by bit, them plague bearers are starting to appear on the front, and they will change the tide of battle. But over here, the Kriegers done a magnificent job pushing back the enemy. And actually, they might be able to push forward to a point where they can stop the attack on the courtyard altogether. There's a lot of firepower that's amassed now behind our Imperial Guard ranks. Just spitting at laser death down into the enemy here. Just massed amounts of it. Look at all that last fire. And that is going all into the plague-ridden, who are not faltering. They are going for this alleyway. There's a tank in the way at the moment, but I'm sure the plague-ridden do not care about that. And this brutal alley fight now is ensuing. You see both sides taking horrendous losses here. Only 270,000 of the Pox army is remaining, but a good chunk of that, once again, the plague-ridden, ladies and gents. And we can see, oh my God, look what happened to this side of the field. Just a few additions to the plague-ridden on this side completely turned the tide of battle. Oh, this is horrific. The entire flank of the Alliance has just collapsed over here. Alliance Imperial Guard. I'm thinking World of Warcraft here. Oh, look at this. And now we just got this absolute deadly melee moving forward of plague trolls. And I don't think there's enough firepower up here, lads, to take out all them plague trolls. Good luck to you. The flank of the Imperial Guard here faltering, which leaves all of the firepower completely exposed to a flanking maneuver. And look at this, we're getting another breakthrough on this side. Imperial Guard simply not able to bring up enough Krieger boys to plug the gaps. The plague-ridden here just quickly infecting any poor guardsman who gets close enough to that front line. Pestilence, boils and sores appear all over his body almost instantly, just upon being in the aura here. And it looks like the gambit for the courtyard has not paid off this time for the Imperials. They're making a second go of it. More reinforcements are coming in now. This line down here getting really thinned out. The Imperials probably wishing that they hadn't pushed so far out and held more of a defensive position. But the Kriegers, you can't blame them. They are exuberant in their defense. Look at all the gore then that was just waving down the side of that building, down the side of the cliff. Oh, there's just these vast chunks of blood flowing down the battlefield. I love it. But coming back up here, the Imperials are starting to get pushed back. The Pox is claiming the village bit by bit. I don't know if the Imperials have a counter to this. And here we go. The massive flanking maneuver that we feared. A couple of Kriegers with shovels have moved up into position here to try and counter it, or at least hold it at bay for a little bit. You can see that Pox swarm is just all over this defense now. And the plague-ridden haven't even come in yet. That's the worrying thing. There's still lots of them. The Imperials started off very strong here. But now, the only thing keeping them alive is this tank fire. Them Lehman Russies pumping round after round into the plague-bearer army here is what's really causing the damage. It's the only way you can truly get rid of a demon's body. Completely evaporate it with a tank shell. It works wonders, ladies and gents, trust me. Look at them all, though. There's so many now. The pestilence is free in the village. God knows how many civilians have been lost. And a complete collapse of the line down here. The Imperial army now just almost going to be in full retreat at this point, surely. I mean, they're the Kriegers, so they're not going to retreat. They're going to hold the line until the very end, but this is a disaster that is starting to unfold now. The Kriegers just not able to hold that position. The pestilence burning its way through the reinforcement pool here for the Imperial Guard. Again, just being close to these poxwalkers, man. It's a risk in itself. You all have to have gas masks and be decontaminated. And let's face it, ultimately, once you've seen chaos, you're not going to be allowed to survive very long in the Imperium of Man. That's a risk they cannot afford to take. Though, one good piece of news. Looks like we're stemming the flow of poxwalkers coming from that side here. So we may only have to deal with this one flank, which is completely overrun. Never mind. Just as things were starting to look up for the Imperial Guard, no. The hammer blow comes down from the Poxwalker swarm here saying, well, we've just broke through one line, you may have defeated the other, and now the Imperial Guard find themselves in a pincer maneuver here between Pox and Plague, and it is not looking good. We've still got, though, a really nice chunk of melee troops down here, so it's not all over for the Imperial Guard, but if we use them quite defensively, that could work out really well in their favor. And we have got this massive crossfire going on. Some of the Death Corps of Krieg here have backed up to more defensible positions, allowing this horrific crossfire to be laid down upon the Poxwalker army as it's trying to advance. And they are advancing into laser death down there. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant stuff here. And that really has withered out that Pox army. Look at these guys now. The Plague Ridden actually taking a lot of losses trying to push through the open ground. And you know what? There's not actually a big horde behind them here. The Imperials could hold this off should they manage to defeat the Plague Wave over this side, and that's not looking healthy. It's Tank versus Plague Bearer at the moment, and that looks like a fight that the Plague Bearers are winning slowly but surely. Sheer weight of numbers is on their side today, ladies and gents. And they've got reinforcements still pouring. Oh, no, there are. In fact, look at this. Most of the reinforcements for the Poxwalker army now are committed to the field. This is everything. If the Poxwalkers here, the Plague Ridden, do not complete this, they will be evaporated from this side of the field. Then the Imperials can truly start to concentrate their fire over here. It's almost equal in the troops remaining at the moment. In fact, the Plague Army is slowly getting mopped up, very, very slowly. There's about 8,000 of them left here to the 13,000 Imperial Guard troops remaining. The Imperial Guard might only just pull this out of the bag, ladies and gents. Only just. This deadly crossfire that they were able to set up in the last dying moments of the battle may have proven to be their ultimate victory here. Because, yeah, let's face it, I think this side has been cleaned up. Yes, look at that! The Poxwalker horde on this side now has been cleaned up. The tanks won that battle in the end. And all the firepower now is being concentrated down into the rest. The 32 remaining Pox army. Look at this. My God, ladies and gentlemen, that was down to the wire. At one point there were 14,000 apiece remaining. The Imperial Guard just being able to take out the defensive position here upon the hill was what won them the day. And the village, though, ladies and gents, is absolutely ruined. It's going to need to be cleansed. And, of course, there's only one way we know how to do that. As always, I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, my lovely internet sausages, peace.